Sonic 2 now has the best opening weekend for any video game movie ever, making an astounding $72 million at the box office. As a lifelong Sonic fan, I can't put into words how much this means to me after seeing the franchise go through so many rough patches. Hey, it's Patrice, aka Screen Rants' current Sonic guy, and let's celebrate this achievement by going over 25 things you might have missed in Sonic 2. Also, heads up before going into this list, it's gonna be a little bit light on the video game references because we've got a video coming up dedicated to all the video game references coming soon, so keep an eye out on that. Oh, and major spoilers ahead, obviously. Alright, let's get it. Dr. Robotnik absorbing the chaos energy and transforming into Super Robotnik may have been a surprise to some of you, since the super forms are usually relegated to Sonic and his friends. But this actually isn't the first time this has happened in Sonic media. In a British comic series published by Fleetway Editions simply titled Sonic the Comic, Robotnik also absorbs chaos energy and obtains godlike powers. Eggman becomes a god as he can manipulate time, warp reality itself, turn beings into stone, fly. Come on now, he's basically the Sonic Universe Thanos. His official title in the comics is even called God Robotnik. It's not a stretch to believe that the movie may have taken some inspiration from Sonic the Comic, since it's the only other piece of Sonic media where Robotnik himself has this kind of power. The Fleetway series of comics isn't as well known as the Archie or more recent IDW runs, which is why some fans may believe this movie was the first to give Robotnik these abilities. But Fleetway depicts a much darker and more cruel version of Robotnik, so it makes sense that the writers of the comic allowed Eggman to become as powerful as he did in that canon. That's not where the Fleetway comic references end though, because as many fans have pointed out, there may have been a reference to the infamous Fleetway Super-Sonic. Fleetway Super-Sonic is an evil transformation of the Hedgehog, resulting from Sonic absorbing evil energy that was held within the Emeralds. In Sonic the Comic, he's depicted as Sonic's more cruel alter ego and is even a main antagonist throughout many story arcs. There's even points where he's having fun and relishes in the idea of taking out all of Sonic's friends. Later in the series, Fleetway Super-Sonic becomes an entirely separate entity and Sonic is forced to fight an evil version of himself. Well, in Sonic 2, there may have been a little nod to Fleetway Super-Sonic. When Sonic returns from destroying Robotnik's Death Egg, Knuckles warns everyone that Sonic isn't the same Hedgehog that they all knew before, and is now potentially dangerous, hinting at the out-of-control version of Sonic in the comics. But this turned out to be a last-minute fake-out as Sonic was still his chili dog-loving self. But the fact that there was a nod to this obscure piece of Sonic media shows that the people who made this really know the source material. Alright y'all, I'm still super hyped over the inclusion of Shadow the Hedgehog. I really didn't think they would do it this soon, but hey, I'm happy that they did. I'm not complaining. Upon further review, I actually should have seen this coming because Shadow's post-credit scene was being teased throughout the entire film, with all the different Sonic Adventure 2 references. The most in-your-face reference was the introduction of the military organization GUN, who were created to combat alien threats. Then some of their helicopters even had the SA2 printed on them. Like, come on, they were letting us know that Sonic Adventure 2 was on their mind in the writer's room. What's more is that the Sonic movies aren't the director of the film Jeff Fowler's first foray into the Sonic franchise. As we all know, he's a big fan of the Blue Blur, which is a huge reason as to why the movies have been working so well. His dedication to making sure the fans are happy with the project made for them literally saved the Sonic movie, and we probably wouldn't be here discussing the second one without Fowler's contribution. But he's also credited to have worked on the CGI cutscenes from the Shadow the Hedgehog video game, so I'm sure being able to bring Shadow into this universe must have been a dream come true for this man. Shadow's reveal in the post-credit scene also looked very similar to his reveal in the 2003 platformer Sonic Heroes, one of my favorite Sonic games. I'm not afraid to say it, I loved Sonic Heroes. In the post-credit scene, we see Shadow rising from the ground in his cryogenically frozen chamber, and when he awakens, he looks straight into the camera. In Sonic Heroes, while Rouge is searching for Eggman's secret treasure, she awakens Shadow, and while he's not rising from the ground, he still has that iconic intimidating stare right into the camera after waking up. Makes me wonder if they might possibly bring Rouge into the next film. But if any other characters are going to show up in Sonic 3, Amy is probably most likely next up. Whoever else they decide to bring into the films, we can trust they're going to adapt them as faithfully as possible, because they're already doing that with the characters we have now. The writer's room is not afraid to add in even the tiniest of details of these characters' personalities, as illustrated by the fact that they even added Sonic and Knuckles' favorite foods. Now we all know Sonic's favorite food is chili dogs, and it's awesome that they kept that consistent with his character. But a lesser known fact is that Knuckles' favorite food is grapes, a fact that's not referenced much in a lot of Sonic media besides his character profiles. Oh hey, there's actually a pretty well-known YouTuber who makes a cameo in this film. No, it's not the entirety of the Screen Rant crew, not that anybody asked for that. During the scene where Tom is failing miserably at volleyball against Rachel's GUN husband and his boys, YouTuber Preston makes a quick cameo as one of the players on Tom's team. He even has a whole video covering his day on set where he got to meet actor James Marsden and actress Tika Sumpter. Now if you're like me, who's admittedly a bit uncultured in the new popular YouTube sphere, this scene might not have made much sense to you when you first saw it. I know I was wondering, why is the camera hanging on this guy for so long? But it all makes sense now. No disrespect to Preston. Congratulations on making it into the movie, man. You're living the dream of the entire Sonic fan base. Okay, I just thought of something. While there is one Archie Comics reference that I'm going to cover a bit later, there's probably not any Archie Comics storyline references because of all the legal reasons that serialization had to stop. But Fleetway Sonic is probably fair game to draw some inspiration from, which is why there is another reference to those comics when the film explored Knuckles' backstory. In Sonic the Comics, it's explained that the Echidna tribe must protect the emeralds from the Drakons, who created the emeralds in order to conquer the galaxy. In the films, this relationship is flipped, with the Echidnas becoming too power hungry and the owls being sworn to keep the emeralds' power out of their hands. It's pretty cool that the Fleetway comics made such a big impact on the cinematic universe. Also, they probably couldn't draw from the Knuckles backstory in the Archie comics because a certain someone might get upset and try to sue. Now hear me out, because this might sound like a reach, but this is a theory I saw floating around Reddit and it makes a ton of sense when you start to think about it. Longclaw's story is very similar to Chaos's from Sonic Adventure 1. They're both the first guardians of the Master Emerald and were both attacked by the Echidna clan. The difference for now is that after the attack, Chaos became consumed with rage and turned into the energy monster antagonist from Sonic Adventure. With Longclaw, we don't fully know what happened to her after the attack, so we could possibly be seeing her taking the route of Chaos by transforming into Chaos at a later part in the series. That would make the stakes of the story very high, as Sonic would be fighting his mother and Knuckles against the person who took out his father. I was sold more on this theory when I considered that the entire Echidna clan was wiped out and Longclaw was the only one there to fight them. Like, was she really able to take out all of them on her own? Let's just see how this one plays out, because I don't think we're done with that storyline just yet. Sonic's attic room is a culmination of everything that makes Sonic, Sonic, with references to speed and fun little childish things spread throughout. His room is a really good representation of his character. Like we saw in the first movie, Sonic loves other fast characters like the Flash. Well, he isn't the only fast character Sonic enjoys, because this time Sonic has a Roadrunner sign in reference to the Looney Tunes character who is also known for always outrunning and outsmarting Wile E. Coyote. A very similar dynamic to that of Sonic and Robotnik. Or you know, it could just be a reference to actual Roadrunner birds who are also very naturally fast. Sonic's bed may also look a little familiar if you read the Archie comics. In the comics, Sonic is always sleeping in a race car themed bed, which we also see in the movie. See, I told y'all there was going to be one Archie reference on this list. That one is safe, but storyline references, not so safe. The writer's room also wasn't afraid to dive into Sonic's meme culture, as we saw in the first movie, when the infamous SANIC the Hedgehog was drawn by Green Hill's local conspiracy theorist. Well, guess what, y'all? SANIC is back and better than ever in Sonic 2, this time appearing as a way to distract Tom when Sonic is out irresponsibly taking care of bad guys. I love that they keep the SANIC gag going and hope to see the crudely drawn version of Sonic in the third film as well. Lots of fans have also pointed out that the Ugandan Knuckle memes of all things is referenced in the film when Knuckles first appears. After Robotnik takes out the other strange human looking aliens and Knuckles appears looking for the source of energy sent out by Sonic's quill, Robotnik responds to Knuckles' inquiry of where he got that power by saying he could show him the way. I honestly missed this one on my first watch. It's a bit more subtle, but honestly, that's probably the only way they could go about referencing one of the most well-known Sonic memes without it being too on the nose. Ben Schwartz is the actor who brings Sonic to life in the live-action universe, and honestly I don't think anyone else would be able to pull off this interpretation of Sonic. But this isn't Schwartz's first acting rodeo, as he's voice acted in shows like BoJack Horseman, Robot Chicken, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Though Schwartz has proved his worth when it comes to being a voice actor, he's most known for his acting role in the mockumentary Parks and Recreation as Jean-Ralphio. During Sonic's Home Alone scene, the film takes the opportunity to reference his iconic role when Sonic says the movie movie Snow Dogs is the worst, singing it in the same cadence as Swartz's character in Parks and Recreation. I personally haven't watched Parks and Recs yet, but I know all you fans of the series were probably having a field day with that reference. Sonic's dance scene while he was home alone not only referenced Parks and Recreation, but also the 1983 film Risky Business. In fact, the entire dance scene is a reference to Tom Cruise's as they both rock out when their parents are away. Well, Sonic doesn't consider Tom and Maddie his parental figures just yet at this point in the film, but the reference is still there. You guys get what I'm saying. When Sonic took out Robotnik, it looked like he may have been out for good as he had that classic kids villain fall to your demise scene. Also, he no longer has the Chaos Emeralds, so the possibility that he survived that fall from that high up are pretty slim, let's be honest. But we're talking about Eggman here. He's a staple of the Sonic franchise who has the plot armor of a One Piece character. So they made sure to keep his defeat pretty open-ended. Only reason I'm bringing this up is because Jim Carrey has stated that he intends to retire after Sonic 2. In an interview with Access Hollywood, he says that his chances of returning to the big screen are slim, stating, "It depends. If the Angels bring some sort of script that's written in gold ink that says to me that it's going to be really important for people to see, I might continue down the road. But I'm taking a break, so let's just hope Sonic 3's script inspires Carrey to come back. But if not, the guy has been acting forever now, so he's definitely earned his retirement." Just like its predecessor, there was a lot of pop culture references made throughout Sonic 2. One that you may have remembered from the first movie was that Sonic was a big fan of the Fast and Furious movies for obvious reasons. The second film also contains a small reference to the franchise when Sonic compares his feud with Knuckles to the infamous feud between The Rock and Vin Diesel. A feud that's been going on for over 6 years. Now, if you're familiar with the long-lasting rivalry between Sonic and Knuckles in the games and the comics, then you'll probably agree that Sonic made a pretty fair comparison, except that Sonic and Knuckles are a little bit more friendly with each other than Johnson and Diesel. You know, now that I'm writing this, I'm really realizing how much the Sonic movie makes references that both kids and adults could appreciate throughout the film. One other reference geared towards adults happened during the final cute baseball scene where everybody gets together and Knuckles is just being an absolute icon. If you listen closely to the music playing when Knuckles hits his home run, it's the exact same as the 1984 film, The Natural, in which Robert Redford's character also hits the final home run. That baseball scene is also a callback to the baseball scene in the first film. You know, the one where we get that funny front-facing perspective of Sonic getting emotional about being lonely. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm taking away from the seriousness of that moment. But he did look kind of silly. Well, in Sonic 2, the baseball scene is meant to illustrate Sonic's emotional growth into someone who has a group of friends and a family. It's honestly a super heartwarming scene, and I love that they included this as the conclusion to the second film. Another fun reference they snuck in was the 3D model of Sonic that appeared in Eggman's lab while he was scheming with Knuckles and Stone. While at first glance this 3D model may appear to be nothing more than a way to display the Hedgehog to the bad guy trio, if you look closely, it's actually doing the waiting pose Sonic does in the games when left idle for too long. Remember the Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1? Yeah, that pain in the butt water level? Well, the temple where the Master Emerald is stored is entirely based off that zone. This reference was confirmed by both Fowler and the end credits animation sprite music video. Everything from the booby traps, color scheme, and complete with a drowning scene, because I'm sure all of us have drowned somewhere in these levels at least once. Yeah, 10-year-old me definitely drowned too many times to count. If you're a fan of the Sonic comics, you'll be delighted to know there's a prequel comic for the Sonic 2 film. If you came out of the film with questions like, how did Agent Stone become the owner of a coffee shop? Or how did Tails find his way to Sonic? Both of these questions and more are answered as the comic explores 5 different storylines starring each of the core casts of the film. Alright, now get ready for this. One very interesting thing about the prequel comic though was that Espio and Vector can be seen in the background of the Knuckles storyline, confirming their existence in the cinematic universe. When will they appear on screen though? My bets are in the Knuckles series, but it's possible they might show up along Shadow in Sonic 3. During the snowboarding scene, Knuckles gets a good hit on Sonic, resulting in the Hedgehog dropping his rings, a quick reference to how the characters do the same thing in the game after taking damage. First thing I thought of when seeing that scene was the ring loss sound effect. Ah, Olive Garden, the proud, shameless sponsor of both Sonic movies. You know, I really can't even be mad at the Olive Garden product placement in this one because the first time it was such a meme that now I'm expecting them to reference the restaurant in every movie in some way. In Sonic 2, the Gun General returns and makes yet another reference to the Olive Garden, keeping consistent with his character's joke in the first film. Here's a quick question for you guys. Which one does Sonic like more, Marvel or DC? My money is on DC solely because of The Flash, but Marvel is probably a close second considering the couple of references made to the MCU specifically throughout the film. The obvious one being the Winter Soldier joke, but the less obvious one was in reference to the moment the Avengers first came together during the Battle of New York. Yep, I'm talking about that iconic 360 shot that can be found in 90% of our Marvel videos. During the final battle with Eggman, this shot gets recreated with Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails being the center instead of the Avengers. Except this time the camera doesn't quite move in a smooth motion and is quite jaggy to better reflect the speed of the Sonic heroes. Now I know we missed some things, and keep in mind that we're going to go over all the video game references in a separate video, but let us know about some interesting things you noticed throughout the film in the comments. Once again, it's Patrice, and if you want to hear more from me, I encourage you to check out our other videos covering the Blue Blur. 90% chance I'll be in them. Alright, that's all I got for you guys this time. Also, don't lose hope, Metal Gang. He might still show up in Sonic 3. I still believe.